Hi everyone, I'm Tobias Taupitz, the CEO and co-founder of Laka. But more importantly today, I'm here as a member of the UK Insurtech Council. And with me, I have Paul Firkins of Hood Group. Hi Paul, good to have you today.
Hi Toby, pleasure to be here.
Brilliant. Could you start please by giving an introduction about yourself, who you are, what you do at Hood Group, what Hood Group does? Start off with that.
Sure, okay. So Hood Group are a business-to-business intermediary for personal lines products, so home, travel and motor insurance. And we sit behind and power a number of major affinity brands. So I think just to bring that to life for you, Toby, if you were to go and buy a Sainsbury's Bank travel insurance policy, you would land on our website, which we've developed. It'll be our customer journey, it will be our proposition that we've co-developed with the bank. If you wanted some advice, you'd talk to our contact centre, and we would collect premiums, issue documentation. So I guess you can broadly break down our services into product creation, website builds, a huge focus on building strong UX best-in-breed websites, digital marketing, so the whole range of marketing mix to help our brand partners acquire customers and bring those in, and then the whole sales and servicing policy life cycle. What we probably easily what we don't do in the value chain is that we're not an insurer, so we don't have risk capacity. We work very closely with a small number of strategic insurers, and we don't handle claims. Beyond that, everything in that value chain we get involved in, and our partners take some or all of that as they see fit. Some of the other partners that fall into that category, like John Lewis and Partners, RAC, P&O Ferries, well-established brands. And then more recently, Toby, we've supported a number of new entrants to the market, organisations like Ticker, who are a rapidly growing telematics motor insurer aimed at young drivers. We provide all of their sales service. We've got about 160 staff, ordinarily working out of Southend at the moment, all working from home, and working from home very successfully, I have to say. My role is business development director, so I'm responsible for all new partnerships. And I guess in a nutshell, we've joined Insurtech UK to engage with like-minded people that want to make insurance better.
So a lot to dig in there. Thanks for sharing that, Paul. You will laugh, but I actually had the pleasure of working with Hood Group before. We were many moons ago when we were still called Insurtech, horrible first name, as part of Startup Bootcamp Insurtech, and we had the pleasure of working with the team so far. So I'm really excited to do this one today. But could you share a bit how Hood Group could play a role in the wider Insurtech space and how it might be relevant for our members?
Yeah, sure. So I guess what we're hoping to do, Toby, is draw upon our 40 years experience of selling products to customers and to tap into that, I guess, unique wealth of knowledge. We've seen insurance transition over that period of time. Personally, myself, I've seen it for 30 years, and my 30 years has been all common theme for wherever I've worked has been affinity schemes and consumer-based products, and that has evolved tremendously over the last few years. So we are at the coalface selling policies to customers. So what I'm hoping is that we'll bring something a bit different, because I think Insurtech UK have very successfully created an ecosystem of support partners in banking, accountancy, legal, consulting, funding, etc. And I'm hoping that we can offer some practical experience and guidance to your members. But I think equally as importantly is that we're a curious bunch and we want to learn as well. So we want to understand what's out there, build new connections and see where collaborations can go. And I think the collaborations, I think we're seeing more of that in the market. We're seeing organisations perhaps change strategy and decide that they can't do everything. They can't do everything as market leading, best in class. And so stick to what we're good at and create an ecosystem of best of breed partners. And I think we'll see more of that model go forward.
That's super interesting. Really great to have you on board. You mentioned some really interesting partners here. Could you share a case study or a journey of one of those brands you're working with, no matter if it's incumbent or a startup? It's really digging a little bit deeper to make it really tangible for our viewers.
Sure. Yeah. So I think Ticker would be a good one, Toby, because they have entered the market recently. Their proposition is based around a very clever technology piece around monitoring the driving behavior of consumers by a very non-obtrusive placement onto the windscreen. And their focus is around that technology piece and growing distribution. So what they decided to do is that as they grow, they were inevitably going to create a customer pool. And rather than look to service those customers themselves and make that capital expenditure into contact center technology, good people, good insurance knowledge people, that they would outsource that to us, which is what they've done. And I guess what that has enabled them to do is to be very focused on their proposition, be very focused on building a customer base and creating new products. And we provide that customer interaction of sales service and everything that goes around that. So I guess we would call it a sort of startup to scale up. And I think if we look at why are we joining Insurtech UK, where do we think some of those opportunities could come from? And certainly that would be one we would be interested in, particularly for consumer-facing propositions.
Nice, thanks for sharing. And I guess moving away from Hood Group specifically, what wider trends do you see in the market at the moment? Technologies that interest you, you're quite keen on, and yeah, anything you want to share on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think as far as the technology is concerned, Toby, it's pretty endless. And obviously, a number of the Insurtech members are some way down the journey in using technology as the enabler for creating better propositions. But I think in terms of the importance of it, we know that customer expectations are a lot higher than they were years ago. Having seen that, for example, what a home insurance journey has evolved from over the last 20 years or so, we will see a better customer experience, more frictionless. I think we'll see technology create that embedded insurance at right place, right time. I think we'll see a higher take up and understanding of technology enabling preventative insurance. I think building off the likes of the success that organisations like NEOS have had, who we've worked with as well in providing that sales and service, I think we'll see a growing emergence there. And usage-based. I think that's a topical one right now, particularly with the pandemic and with less people driving. I think we're already seeing some initiatives there, but I'm sure that's an area that will increase as well. And then I think away from perhaps the obvious ones around what that means to the customer proposition, Toby, is within that value chain, and obviously a number of Insurtech members are already doing this in terms of big data, AI, chatbots. I think what we'll find is that the operational efficiencies become the new battleground for pricing, particularly off the back of the FCA pricing remedies. And I think the organisations that are able to service the customer and service the customer well, but using technology to deliver good outcomes, will be the winners. And so that investment of where you plug into your investment is really important.
I fully agree. Our wider members are always got interested in, again, partnerships, trends. Is there anything that you think stands out? You mentioned a couple of buzzwords just now between blockchain, AI, et cetera, et cetera. Anything 5 years ahead, blue sky thinking, that you find really interesting, where the market is developing towards?
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, where we'll be in 5 years, where we'll be in 10 years. I think what we will see is an adaptation from customers to having more control. So I think we'll see more subscription type products available, and customers feeling more comfortable in having that control and being able to switch products on and off. I think we see, if you look at the wider demographic, the rental sector is increasing for various reasons. That home ownership is a challenge, despite a number of initiatives to turn that around. So I think that renters market will be an interesting space for propositions to be more appropriate to that customer base, ensure the things that I want that are important to me and let me switch them on and off. And clearly there's examples out there in the market. So I think we'll see a number of those trends coming in. I think it'll adapt at the pace that the customer is happy with. And the reason I say that, Toby, is that we've trialed in the past some very slick, no questions asked propositions on home that has just taken the postcode and returned the premium. And maybe the psyche of customers is that, oh, hang on, you haven't asked me enough questions here. Am I adequately insured? And obviously there's ways around that in terms of relaying information back to them. But I think there's a huge number of things that can be done, but I wouldn't underestimate how quickly the customer will adapt to some of these technologies. And like all good startups initiatives, you've got to be genuinely solving a problem. Technology can do absolutely anything, but is this going to actually add value to the end customer?
Test, learn, iterate all the way.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's been agile enough to be able to do that, I guess, where many of your members are in that position to be able to do. So great opportunities.
Fantastic. Is there anything else you want to say to our viewers that I have not asked so far? Final words from your end?
Other than we're really looking forward to engaging, we'll take a very open and Chatham House rules in terms of collaborating, sharing our experiences. If we can collaborate on initiatives and move forward with a partnership, then fantastic. But I think at the very least, we'd love to be able to share some insight in the areas that we operate, share our views, and see where those discussions go, Toby, because collaborations, as I said earlier, will increase in number. So that ecosystem of Insurtech UK is fantastic, bringing that all together, and we're looking forward to being part of it.
That's brilliant to hear, Paul. If any of our members want to find you, what's the best way to reaching you?
Yeah, so either on LinkedIn or via our website, easy to find online. So please do get in touch, and hopefully it won't be too long before we can meet up face to face for a coffee or a beer, and rather than doing it via the screen. Not too long, hopefully.
Fingers crossed. Great having you today. Thanks for joining us, Paul.
Thanks a lot, Toby. Thanks very much.